Today we continue our lesson in chapter 4 and we are still in section 2 and we are in lesson 3. Previously we learned about the kingdom of Ghana and this time we will learn about the empire of Mali. Go ahead, open your books or go to our website and from there Cengage Learning through Clever and from there unit 2 and we are in chapter 4 section 2 and we are learning about the empire of Mali. The objective of this lesson is to explore the factors or reasons or causes that help the Empire of Mali become powerful. And the chapter's essential question is what impact did trade and technology have on North and West Africa? Trade and technology supported the development of great empires in West Africa. So, lesson 3 describes the Empire of Mali. Now, before we get into the details of today's lesson, let's take a look at the review and assess questions so that you will be guided as you are paying attention. Number 1, reading check. In what ways were Mali and Ghana similar and different? So this means you will need to recall or go back to our previous lesson about the kingdom of Ghana. Now, number 2, draw conclusions. What enabled Mansa Musa to support the arts and learning? So Mansa Musa is an important leader of the Mali Empire. And finally, number 3, sequence events. What events led to the decline of Mali? Timbuktu was a great center of learning. During the 1500s, the historic Mosque of Sangore was the center of the city's Islamic scholarly community. There were no prescribed courses of study, although the primary focus was the teaching of Quran, which is the holy book of Islam. Other courses included history, astronomy, and logic. Courses were held in private residences as well as in the courtyards of mosques. And these are their churches. One aspect of the city's development as a center of learning was its trade in manuscripts, as well as other commodities such as salt, gold, grain, and cattle. Now let's take a look at the layout of the city of Timbuktu. From the upper left corner, you will see that there is the great mosque that was built by Mansa Musa after his pilgrimage to Mecca. If you can still remember, Mecca is the birthplace or the place where the religion of Islam started. So it is a Muslim's responsibility to at least once in his or her lifetime to visit this holy land. And also in the city of Timbuktu, there's about 25,000 students that were taught at the city's 180 schools and 3 universities. So generally, most people live in houses made of brick. So the living quarters were dark and stuffy because of the climate in the area. And you can also see camel caravans that brought goods such as salt, cloth, and copper, and also books. This is an important trade good during this time, commodity in exchange for gold. A traveler's inn, you will also find travelers inn or like hotels, and they provide food and water for merchants and their animals. So this is the first idea of Airbnb, I guess, or hotels at least. So when Ghana declined in 1200s, it left West Africa without a major power. And this new power arose, the Empire of Mali. Like Ghana, Mali built its wealth on gold, but it also boasted great achievements in culture and the arts. Word of Mali's achievements reached as far as Europe. From 13th to 17th century, West Africa was home to the great Mali Empire. Established by King Sundiata Keita, the kingdom united several smaller Malenke kingdoms near the upper Niger River. Protected by a well-trained imperial army and benefiting from being in the middle of trade routes, Mali expanded its territory, influence, and culture over the course of 4 centuries, that's 400 years. An abundance of gold dust and salt deposits helped to expand the empire's commercial assets. As what mentioned a while ago, Mali included the city of Timbuktu, which became known as an important center of knowledge. Mali also developed into a hub of the Islamic faith before poor leadership led into the empire's ultimate decline in power and influence. Now, the rise of Mali Empire can be traced back to Sundiata, or the Lion King, as some called him. Well, after seizing the former capital of Ghana Empire in 1240, Sundiata and his men consolidated control while continuing to expand the Mali Empire. Oftentimes, the officers of his court wielded great power, which was crucial to keeping the empire strong during periods of poor leadership. Mali had kings and they called them Mansa. The Mali Empire would reach a height of strength during the reign of Mansa Musa I, or King Musa. Territorial expansion coincided with cultural advancements, particularly in architecture, and the empire flourished in different aspects as well. Using large army, Musa doubled the empire's territory, and this allowed the kingdom to enjoy the benefits of being the center of trade in Africa. In 1324, Musa undertook a pilgrimage to Mecca, which is the holy land of Islam, during which he spent and gave away all of his goods. As a result, stories of the wealth of Mali kings spread far and wide. So popular with the Europeans that a Spanish cartographer even featured Musa in a Catalan atlas, a popular resource for European explorers. As you can see here in this Catalan atlas, it features Musa's wearing gold crown, holding more gold in his hands as well. This image would be the catalyst for explorers in search for the city of Timbuktu in hopes of finding Musa's riches. Today, some believe that he would have been the richest man in history. Islamic learning centers, schools, and universities, and the grandest library in all Africa were a direct result of Musa's rule and made Mali into a multilingual and multi-ethnic kingdom. That was indeed the golden age of the Mali Empire. However, following Mansa Musa's death around 1337, the empire fell victim to declining influence around the continent of Africa. Other trade centers also developed, hurting the commercial wealth that had once so freely surrounded Mali. They have the monopoly. Poor leadership set the kingdom on path of civil wars. The surrounding Songhai Empire would conquer most of Mali kingdom by 15th century, leaving little remaining of the once proud Mali Empire. By the 17th century, the Moroccan Empire occupied the area. Now, to summarize, Ghana and Mali were similar in that both had great wealth. That's their major similarity. However, Mali also produced agricultural surpluses and boasted great achievements in culture and the arts. Now, number two, Mansa Musa's great wealth allowed him to support the arts and learning. And finally, number three, Mali declined because Musa's successors were weak rulers. Smaller kingdoms broke away from the empire and Berbers attacked Timbuktu. So that is our lesson for Chapter 4, Section 2.3, the Empire of Mali.